Alright, everybody out there in the Craftchest Nation, as I Craftchest here with story time. And as you can see, I done shaved off my Tony Stark that I had going on there. It was simply because I got an infection in my gum and in my face here, that's why this is extra swole. And yeah, I know I've already had a poofy face, but this past week has not been pleasant. I had a dentist appointment Wednesday for them to check out one tooth. That's all I wanted them to do. You know, I told them to take some x-rays, inspect this tooth back here, because I knew one of either my back molar or the one in front of it was needing to be fixed. Like I felt like I had a cavity. And when I went in there, they started doing the x-rays, you know, all this. And honestly, it was kind of bizarre because it's almost like they were rushing me through this whole process. Didn't even introduce themselves. Hey, I'm Kathy, Lucy, you know, doctor, whatever. Just rushed me through it and said, okay, let's take some x-rays, jab something in my mouth, said bite down, and started taking these x-rays. And if I pause in here every now and again, it's because this hurts just to speak. As a matter of fact, I miss work because of this. So anyway, this chick does x-rays and all this, and she says, okay, let's get up. And she looks and says, okay, yeah, I see. You know, we'll have to check this one out, and we're going to have to see about that wisdom tooth that I was like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm going to get that fixed, you know, whenever I can. And so I went on. She says, okay, let's get up and let's go in here. Well, I didn't ask for this, first of all, okay? She began cleaning my teeth. And I was like, what are you doing? She goes, well, we're going to do this, you know. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Are y'all ever going to check it? About midway through this went on, I was like, is she going to check this tooth? And finally, I was like, you know, fuck this. I said, hey, wait a minute. And I took the straw thing that sucks out all the saliva and water. I said, are you ever going to check this tooth? I was like, I'm here for y'all to check this tooth. She goes, yeah, but we're going to do this first and blah, 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 whatever. And she goes, this is going well. Anyway, so it looks like you caught me on my A game today. I was like, oh, Lord. And right when she said that, I was like, yep. Never brag is the deal with that. And so I was like, all right, well, you know, as long as y'all check that out, because I don't want y'all to do this and then say, okay, everything's okay, and leave, because it's not okay. And she went on and all this other stuff. And when she spent more time over here than she did over here. And this is where I got the problems, over on my left side. Well, when she made it to that side, I was like, how come she didn't, like, switch sides of the chair to get over here like she did? She was on opposite sides. Well, I noticed that she was being a little rough up here along the top side, and I was like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, my teeth are not that bad, first off. And I remember feeling her jab me a couple of times. I was like, oh. She's like, are you okay, or whatever? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's just... She goes, you got any sensitivity or anything happening? I was like, no, it's not that. It's just, you know, I don't know if they were strong in the mouth. So I was like, no. I couldn't, you know, I guess I should have took it out and said, you jabbed me one time, whatever. And I guess I should have, because after this is all said and done, the doctor looks at this and says, yeah, you got a couple of pits that need to be fixed on that second molar back there. We'll set up a treatment plan. Well, she came out and said, you know, deductible $50. The treatment's going to be $142. Insurance pays $70, all this other. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And so I set up an appointment for this coming Tuesday. And I remember I was off that day. So I was like, man, you know, why is it so sore all of a sudden? You know, like, did she really jab me? And I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, maybe it's just the teeth cleaning or whatever. Well, I went home, and the later it got, I remember me and Mr. Rogers was chatting in Discord, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to play tonight, dude. I don't know what it is, but that teeth cleaning and inspection, you know, them looking at that tooth, man, that shit wore me out. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I just started feeling bad, like just tired and sore. I was like, and I normally I don't know what's going on. And that shouldn't be happening. I never knew for your mouth to get sore after a cleaning. Well, I went to bed. Well, that next morning I woke up, and I guess that's about the size it was when I woke up. I was like, oh God, what is that? I was like, why is that sore all of a sudden up in here? And like right here, I know this is where it's at because this is where it's most sore. Right here, above that tooth where I remember her jabbing me, is where it really, really hurts. Well, I went to work, and the more the day drug on, the worse it got. I was like, golly, this hurts so bad. And it wasn't even in that tooth that's got the two cavities in it. And I was like, dude, I ain't gonna make it. I need to call that dentist up and, and go by there or something. And this was on Thursday. And not knowing the future that the dentist was going to be closed Friday or not in the office Friday. So I go home and I didn't say nothing. I went over to visit next door, Kitty, JP, and Fallon. And I didn't say a word to them. They didn't know nothing about this or whatever. And it was like, good Lord, what's wrong with your face? And I was like, is it that noticeable? It was like, this stuff is swelling up. This hurts so bad right now. Ow. Matter of fact, it hurts so bad right now. And so, like, I got to get up in the morning. I was like, I close tomorrow, but I got to get up in the morning and go track that dentist down or go to the doctor or something because this ain't right. So I get up. Not by choice. I woke up several times just throbbing, burning pain, just shooting all through my face. And the later it got, the worse it got. Well, about 5 o'clock in the morning, I had hell of time getting back to sleep because I was like, I don't want to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning and have to go to the doctor or the dentist and all that and then have to go to work at close. That just sucks. So I forced myself to lay there. And I got up about 7:30. I was like, and I got online immediately before I ever even got a shower or whatever. And it said, 8 to 12 with our hours on. And here I am. I just saw 8 to 12. I didn't look at nothing else. I missed that part where it said by appointment only. So I get ready and I go up to the dentist office. Door's locked. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I knock on it. I call them. There's no answering service. There's an answering machine, but no answering service like most doctors have. Like an on-call answering service or a forward to a real person. You know what I mean? Every doctor I've ever known, a dentist, has that. But no, not this one. So in the meantime, I was like, well, fuck, I got to do something, dude. I got to go to the doctor because I can't go to work like this. By this time, my face was huge. As a matter of fact, let me pull a picture up. By the time that all this happened, this is what my face looked like right here. That's how swollen it is over here. You see all this right here just bulged out. Well, I ended up going to work because by this time it was like 9:15, 9:30. I sat there and I waited on the guys to get back from the bank or whatever. I don't know what happened. And I went in and said, look, I was like, you see this right here, how swole? I got to go to the doctor for this. I can't work like this. It hurts. It's killing me. And I'm shooting pains all through my head. Long story short, they was like, well, there's a dentist and an on-call service right across the street. I was like, oh, yeah, there is. So I go over there, and of course, that dentist office is by appointment only or by request on Fridays as well. So I go to that on-call service or urgent care or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, we can't do nothing for you. That was caused by a dentist. You got to go to the dentist. I was like, but it's in my face. You see how this is swole? It's tissue. And doctors surely can treat tissue. And she was like, no, we can't do nothing for you. I've never in my life heard of that before. So by this time, I was like, what the hell am I going to do? So I get on my phone and I call couple of on-call services. Long short is they tell me one of them says we have a walk-in doctor at 1 o'clock. You may be able to see him. And I'm like, what the hell you mean may be able to see him? So I get off the phone with them. Well, I found another one. And by this time, it's getting close to go to work. Time to go to work. I was like, what am I going to do? And I think I came home. I don't even know because it's a fog. And I was like, what am I going to do? I have to get this taken care of because I go in soon. So I called and told him, look, I got to go to the doctor. I was like, it's getting close to work. I know I'm supposed to be there, but I got to have this looked at because this ain't good. Anyway, I found this urgent care place in a town close by, so I go there. I didn't even call them. I just went there. Well, I went in, and the lady behind the desk says you need to be seen and treated. And I was like, yes, I do. She goes, what seems to be the problem? And I was like, well, this whole side of my face is swole up. I was like, could you tell, the difference here? It's not normal. And she goes, well, sir, we can't help you here. You're going to have to go to the ER. And I'm like, really? Again? I was like, what for? You have a doctor right here. She goes, well, sir, you have Bell's palsy. I said, Bell's palsy? And I think this is exactly what I said to her. Pretty damn close. I said, Bell's palsy. I was like, lady, look, I ain't never been sick in my life. That's the first time I've been to the doctor. And I think I know what caused this. I was like, I ain't got no flipping Bell's palsy. She goes, well, you never know, how it hits somebody. I was like, look, I know I went to the dentist. I think they did something over here and poked me, and it got infected. I just need some antibiotics. I just need to see a doctor. Well, the doctor walked out about that time and said, what's going on here? Blah, 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 whatever. He goes, well, close your eyes. And so I closed my eyes. He goes, yeah, he ain't got no Bell's palsy. I'll see him. So I sit there, and I know, for the next 2 or 3 hours in between filling out paperwork and waiting on the scene, sitting in a waiting room, in the patient room. Man, it hurts. And then he finally came in and saw me, and he goes, I don't know how I'm going to do this because I know it looks like it hurts really bad. I was like, do what you got to do, man. So he took a big old popsicle stick. We pried it open, and he looked up in there with a scope. He goes, yeah, I see where it's at. It's all, you have, white tissue up on your gum line, and I see where they poked you because it's really red right there. And probably what happened was she cleaning, got a little rambunctious and shoved some bacteria up under the skin of the gum, and that's what infected it. And thinking back on it, it was kind of weird that the chick didn't have me rinse, because my entire life, from a wee child, I remember going to this dentist back as a kid, and they would always get done, and they would have you rinse with like scope or something. Maybe not scope, but that stuff you squeeze and it goes into the top. They would always have a big bottle of that. To rinse, and then you would rinse your mouth several times after the cleaning. They didn't do that here. And on top of that, they must have had some dirty equipment or something to be able to shove bacteria up under there, because my mouth ain't nasty. The lady even says you brush very well. So at this point, I'm like, what can we do? He goes, well, I'm gonna get you on some meds, and get you on some antibiotic. I'll get you, some anti-inflammatory. We got to get that swelling down, because by this time, it was bad. I mean, by the time I saw this guy, my whole face was like this. So I called work. I was like, dude, I ain't going to make it. I can't come to work looking like this. I can't even talk. People going to be looking at me like crazy. Think I'm chewing tobacco attitude or something like that. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So long short on it, I went and got my prescriptions. By the time I got done with all this, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning whenever I left the house, I didn't get home till after 5. So I started taking these meds. I'm not even going to tell you the horror story of going to Walmart, because I had the wrong medical card. I had to drive home, go back, $114, $130 for the doctor. It's so dumb, and all because I wanted one tooth looked at. So here I am, Friday. Well, Saturday morning, oh my God, these meds did not kick in near fast enough. Because Saturday morning, and this is after me being up a few hours, this is what I look like Saturday, about 11 o'clock. That's fucked up. So by this time, it done got all up in my lips, from here over, all the way over here is just numb with pain. Just ridiculous pain. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. So, all through the day, I'm just sitting there, agony. These pills, I found out I ended up taking some of that pain. He actually gave some like hydrocodone, but it was like the lowest 5 milligram shit. I could have took Advil liquid gels and not even worried about that stuff, probably, and it done better. So I talked to the dude at work again, and I was like, dude, he asked me, is it good? And I sent him that picture. He's like, oh, well, man, you ugly in the morning. And I didn't have time, didn't feel like going back and forth with him to tell him, no, I've been up several hours because I had, in pain. And so the whole day yesterday, this whole side here in my gum started swelling and a big old blister formed back here on the back of the very, I was wondering why the hinge was hurting. So there's big ass blister, and I was like, shit, man, I better get some salt water. I started, you know, very dense salt solution in warm water and kind of rinse that out. And that evening I was like, I gotta lay down, dude. I'm wore out. So I propped up all my pillows so I could just sit up and sleep, you know, kind of like this. Well, after a little while, I was like, I did like this. I'm like, oh God, what does that taste? And I was like, oh God, that's disgusting. I jumped up out of the bed and I went and I spit in the sink. Well, that thing popped and it was like, oh, I'm not even going to describe it to you. I wouldn't, it's so nasty. Anyway, this thing started leaking. I guess it done got so big it popped a hole in the bubble. And it's still there. I can feel it. And this whole side is like swollen my gum now from where it poked me all over my face and all on my gum line. And I hope that antibiotic ends up kicking in because it's been 2 days now. So I'm sitting there and I'm spitting and kind of pushing on a little bit to maybe get the rest of it out. And I had a little salt water left, so heated that up and I kind of rinsed that until it, you know, I stopped spitting the stuff out. So nasty. And so here we are today. Last night I was up and down. Just every time I lay down, my lips swell. It's like this fluid just drains down to my lips and it's like. And so I got up this morning, and only because I got a phone call. Because I was finally getting comfortable. I don't know what it is about daytime, nighttime, to where you just finally just say, screw it. You know, your body just shuts down the pain and says you got to get some sleep. You know what I mean? So now work is texting me, asking me why I didn't go to the dentist. I did go to the dentist. That's what the fuck caused this. And so dumb. And now I have a dentist appointment Tuesday, and I'm going to go in. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to call them ahead of time and say, we're going to have to reschedule for the actual. I don't even know if I want this guy to do it at this point, because, you know, it's just, I think I'd rather deal with the cavity and wait on another dentist than I would this person, because this is ridiculous. But I'm going to go in and let them look at what they did and tell them, you know, hey, y'all might want to just slow your procedures down a little bit. But that's it, man. And now I have to work tomorrow. The shit still ain't going away, as you can see. I mean, over here, I was trying to, out those pictures. I was trying to make a video yesterday. I couldn't do it. It's just this whole side right here. Every time I was speaking, just like. So hopefully this goes down enough to where I don't look stupid at work tomorrow. And I shaved because I wanted to actually be able to see. God, it's so sore. But that's it. Story time of Craft Chest is over. But I'm documenting this in my own personal way. Hope y'all enjoyed the little story. It's Craft of the Mind. Go out there and have some fun. Woo.